Hello, hello, my awesome family. How are you doing? My name is DLT, host of the Awesome Music Show, and I'm delighted to share with you one more time on this wonderful, wonderful platform. We're in the Awesome Music Spotlight, and we go all the way to Canada for another broadcast as we share on the theme I'm young, I'm bold, I'm confident. And that's the theme for the months of July and August. July is almost coming to an end, and we want to thank those who have been supporting the Awesome Music Show for the second year in a row with all these shows, Mondays, Fridays, and sometimes we have had shows in between, and you've always been supporting. You know yourselves. I don't even have to call your name because you already know the support that you've been given to the Awesome Music Show. So we want to thank you so much, and we thank you for always supporting, sharing the link, sending the link to your family and your friends so that they can also be a part of the experience. I want to thank my parents, my mom and dad, for always encouraging me, and my brothers and sisters, my immediate family, my wife and my sons. Thank you so much for supporting the Awesome Music Show. All the other channels that are locked on to the Awesome Music Show, each time we go live, you know yourselves. Thank you so much. But before I introduce my guest, it's another awesome day given to us by an awesome God to do some awesome things. And we want you to be a part of the voting experience for the Awesome Music Show because, yes, we have been nominated in the ABGMA Awards 2022. I can't say it enough that I'm grateful for this nomination. And as a family, the Awesome Music Show family, we are thankful for this nomination. So, to help us to reach the top of this voting period, we want you to vote. The voting link is soarisemusic.com/vote ABGMA. It's right on the screen, and it's category 26, which is media. Option 2, you will see the Awesome Music Show hosted by DLT. You can vote unlimited all the way to Sunday, July 31st, and that's when the voting lines will be closed. The award show is in November. That's when the winners will be announced. But guess what? Even if we don't win this award, we're still grateful for the nomination because it's an encouragement for us to continue to do what we are doing. So we are happy, happy for this nomination. Thank you so much for joining, wherever you're joining from, sending your comments in the chat. And also just remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channels, DLT Music, so that each time we go live, you'll get those live notifications. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. So our guest on the Awesome Music Spotlight today comes all the way from Canada. She is a registered nurse by profession. She's also a singer and songwriter. And I must add, a wonderful woman of God. I speak of no other person to join me on this platform today, all the way from Canada, my guest, Janique Simpson. Thank you so much, sis, for joining. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. And I'm blessed to have you on the show as my guest because we know so many times God just puts people on the platform that will bless our audience. And we know that today's show will be no less. So, really, really happy to have you on today. And we'll be talking about some very exciting stuff. The theme for the month is I am young, I am bold, I'm confident. And we know young people need this kind of encouragement. You have an awesome story that you'll be sharing with us. And before we get into that story, we'll be just chit chatting a bit on a few things leading up to that. And then you'll have your time to share your testimony and also share on the theme. So, welcome, welcome once again to the awesome spotlight. All right. All right. So, you are no you're based in Canada, and a lot of people would see you in Canada and they might think, hey, she is a straight Canadian. Well, you are a Canadian, but your roots is from Jamaica. Tell us a little bit about your early start in Jamaica. You left Jamaica when you were very young, so you wouldn't have a lot of experiences. But now that you have gone back several times, tell us a little bit about that experience that you are having so far.
Yes, yes. So I did actually just a baby.
Yeah.
I left with my mom. My dad brought me up, two siblings. Uh, we left
Hmm.
very young, so it was a different experience. Back, I would go back and travel. So that's where I got a lot of my experience from. And is it where I was even born, um, and my parents, and it was good. It was there's no place like home where you originally come from, but Jamaica's my
Yeah.
home.
Yes, yes, that's true. That's true. Because I have a friend, she lives in New Jersey. She was born and raised in New Jersey, born American, but just don't call her an American. She is a Jamaican because she has Jamaican parents. So she speaks strongly of her Jamaican heritage, and that's really good. So it's really awesome to have you share. I mean, we are Jamaicans wherever we go in the world. We are proud Jamaicans. We might not be proud of some of the things happening back home, but we are still pro Jamaicans, and that's really awesome. So you have now experienced the Canadian life, and you have gone back a few times, so I'm sure you have made several improvements on your life since you've been there, because you have uh, become a nurse, which I'm sure that's a profession a lot of people would say, hey, not touch that, none at all, but you are a nurse. Tell us about how early your love for nursing started, because to be a real nurse, you have to really love people, love caring for people, and that has to be a passion that comes from deep within. So tell us how early that passion started, and how has it been going for you so far?
Yeah, I would say since I was younger, I wanted to be a nurse. I had two options. It was either to be a lawyer or a nurse. I would say the nurse
Okay.
side, caring part started to kind of grow on me, especially
Yeah.
a younger brother who he gets seizures from a very young age. Um, just always, us as a family being there for him
Mhm.
and helping, kind of open up my eyes to that nursing, side. And son, just seeing everything in the hospital, I think originally I wanted to work in the labor nursing when I had my
Yes.
son. And I remember I was like, oh, this is, but I had other plans. I went into hospice as a nurse. I just started as, um, so before nurse, I was a personal support, was like a nursing assistant almost.
Hmm.
And I worked as until my son, I had my son, and it's kind of to kind of get through, you know, and it grew on me, and I said, you know what, and I went into nursing, and my first job, I, I applied. I was in long term care into hospice, and at that time, I didn't even know what hospice was. I just said,
Hmm.
you know, started a job, went into it, and I was like, this is challenging, but it grew on me.
Yes.
It's an awesome job too, right? I think you could be with someone in their very last moments on earth, right? And you have the opportunity to be used to change the way how they have their. You could, for me, I pray with them. Sometimes I sit, I talk. Anything they need, I either just helping them to feel comfortable, right? Because hospice is life stage, right? So pretty much when somebody is passing, I see a lot of any um any sickness basically that is gonna cause them to die, right?
Hmm.
And some of them I meet for 3 months, some the same day, and they die, right? So
Wow.
as a hospice palliative nurse that we comfort them, and I use that time as a child of God to tell them about. And yeah, so it could be sad, but it also can be rewarding.
Well, I can just imagine the setting of a hospice because I have visited sick people in the hospital before, and as you spoke about, comforting them, I remember there was this lady who knew me and my wife for quite some time, and she was ill and terminally ill, I would say, and she was requesting to see us so badly. And I can remember when we went to see her, the lady died at about 24 hours after. And from what I know, even the pastor of the church at the time had to be giving her like ice cubes because that's all she wanted, just to be comfortable. So I can just imagine the situation that you work in. But as a nurse, as a Christian nurse, I believe you are positioned in a place where you can lead a lot of these people to Christ for those who don't know him. And that can be a very, very rewarding. Yes, they are passing. It's a sad time for their family, but I believe any death at all, it doesn't matter how tragic it is, if you die in Christ, that's the reward, and that's the awesome thing. So that's really good. So in terms of, so you spoke about what prompted you to be a nurse and the experience you've been having so far. So in terms of your conversion experience, because before becoming a nurse, you became a Christian and you started serving God. Tell us a little bit about that experience, and I'm sure it has been a rewarding one. I won't even ask the question because I know it has been. So tell us a little bit about that.
I was so my grandmother lived with me when I was younger, and she used to take me, and she ended up moving away when we were fairly young still, so attend church anymore
Mhm.
until about my late teenager, and I ended up going back to church. But before I got that same time, I ended up having a son. I had a child
Right.
as a teenager, so I ended up going back into church because I said, you know, grounded in me from a young
Hmm.
age, and
Yes.
I was going through very challenging times that I need God, right? I really need God, and um, and I remember just being pregnant. It was very difficult. School. I was still in
Hmm.
high school. I remember I told my mom I was very fearful. She, of course, you're telling a Jamaican mother that at that age, you know,
Hmm.
of course she was upset, but she said, you know, you're gonna stay in school, you're gonna finish school, you're gonna make sure that you come out with good grades. I remember I finished school even quicker than I should have. Right, I finished working
Hmm.
really early as a personal support worker, nurse assistant, and then
Yeah.
around that time when all of these things were happening, I felt discouraged and down. The shame of just being pregnant young, right?
Hmm.
And just I would take Elliot. I remember people would be staring, and I think I got to a place where I felt about it much, but I felt really down.
Hmm.
And I remember father, I spoke with him and I said, my sister started inviting me to church. So I think it changed me
Yes.
slowly, my mindset, right? And I
Mhm.
remember I had mentioned that, I said, "You'll get baptized with me. I'm thinking about it." And he said, "No." So I said, "If I get baptized with me or at that age," and he said, "No." So I said, so from there, I made, this person says that they love me
Yes.
and they're so quick to leave. And I'm having, you know what? It's a new path. I'm
Hmm.
gonna take it being a new mom, and let God help me to be the best mom that I could be. I remember I ended up after I had my son. I think he was about one. gave my life to God around that time. Yeah. So after it was about that son is the one who I think God used my son to
Hmm.
help me to look to realize that it's rough, and if it's rough on my own, with God it won't be as rough. It will still be rough, but at least I'll have help, and
Hmm.
gave my life to God. That was the change, and even to this day now, he keeps me on track. He keeps me on
Right.
track. He even still treats me even as young as he is, right? So that was my that was my kind of story.
Wow, wow, awesome, awesome. Because you mentioned, I mean, searching for love at that early age, and I guess because of the early pregnancy, you would have said, "Hey, let's get married. We're gonna go to church." But he said no. I mean, in some ways, honestly, saying no possibly is the best thing for you because maybe that wasn't even the will of God for your life at that time. Possibly you would have done it. You would have regretted getting married so early, starting your family and stuff. You have your son, and you just have to be the best mom for him. And I'm sure along the way, God will help you to do the best that you can do, and you have been doing a good job so far. So that's really good. I mean, other young people would need to hear your story because I'm sure a lot of young people I've known a lot of young people who have been in that same situation. They have bounced back and they have been excelling. And I'm sure your story is one that can really encourage them. So, along the theme of being young, being bold, and being confident, use your same story just to talk to our audience right now on that theme based on what you have gone through, and you can now use your live experience to talk to them. So talk to them a bit on that theme.
Yeah, so I would just say, we look at our age to say we're too young to accomplish certain things, or we put at our age, or we even say when we hit this certain age, we're going to start and try to do this. Say, while you have life right now, being
Hmm.
young right now, it's now where God can perfect you and use you and to grow you, and just your best effort out and be bold, be confident, and most in God, because once you put your confidence in God, God will use you to do things that you don't even know. So always try to have a positive mindset, stay focused, just aim for the highest, and we have God on our side. So nothing is what God says. Through Jesus Christ, nothing is impossible.
Right, that's powerful. And being a Canadian, and you're I'm sure you're involved in church to a certain extent. In terms of your experience so far with other young people, um, what's the kind of support they get from the church community, especially if they end up in a situation like you were in? What kind of support they get? Because I know there was a time when something like that would happen to a young person. You'd be sidelined. I mean, people would treat you a certain way. There might be a few among the church that would embrace you and still love you, but what's the kind of support that you generally see young people get from the church setting you're seeing there in Canada?
Yeah. So I would say for my situation, it was a little bit saved when I had my son young. So I
Hmm.
came in, and I was, um, and I had a little bit more support. But I would two ways, right?
Hmm.
It could go two ways. I would
Yeah.
think sometimes in that situation because somebody sinned, right? Like if somebody is um and they step out of the will of God and they do that. But I would say it would be the best be to basically correct that person out of love, right? They had they found themselves in a situation, but
Yes.
Jesus would correct us with love, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically help us so that way we know, okay, you messed up, but guess what? Life, you brush off yourself and just keep walking. God can still use you. If we
Yes.
look at even in the scripture, God didn't come for those who were already, God came for those who were basically on their way messed up situations, and God
Yes.
used them. The greatest prophets we see with the greatest, they came from situations that nobody would have even looked at them. Use them because
Mm-hmm.
there has to be a testimony. There's experiences that come out through things like that. So, church, I would hope. Of course, you're gonna say there's a lot of people in the church. It's sad to say are um, that may react differently. But I pray
Mm-hmm.
that they
Yes.
wouldn't that way, because at the end of the day, everybody, right? It's just, what are you gonna do? Are you going to look down on that person, or are you gonna pick them out of love?
Mhm. That's awesome because I mean, at the end of the day, the situation with this woman that was caught in the act of adultery. Some persons wanted to stone her, and Jesus said to them, if any of you are sinless, then you can cast the first stone. And sadly, all of them had to drop those stones and walk away. So that's a message for all of us because today there's a saying in Jamaica, today for me, tomorrow for you, meaning I can be in a situation today and you might chastise me, but tomorrow you find yourself in the same or worse situation. So as you said, the aim is really correcting the person in love
Yeah,
and trying to show them a different side to the gospel. There's also a story with the woman at the well who a lot of people would say, hey, she money or she have all kinds of different men, but Jesus used her situation to turn her into one of the greatest evangelists. She started evangelizing the same time. You understand? So
yeah.
it's a powerful story, and just listening to you, the encouragement, I would say, um, other young people need to look. Nobody's glorifying what happened or saying, hey, this is okay. But guess what? It already happened. We need to move on from there. And Jesus is the person who can restore just about any single person. So I just want to pause on the show at this point to tell you, if you're watching the show, it doesn't matter what your situation is, it doesn't matter what you have gone through. The Jesus that we are talking about on the show today on the Awesome Spotlight is the same Jesus that he brought through Janique years ago. She can now speak of a living testimony. He can do the same for you. So we want to use the show to encourage you, to let you know wherever you are in the world, you might be watching this years and years to come. But this show is for you, and this encouragement is for you just the same. All right. So Janique, for a lot of people don't know, she's a registered nurse. She's a singer and a songwriter. We want to talk to her about her singing ministry. She has been writing behind the scenes. She has been singing behind the scene. Tell us a little bit about your songs that you've been writing, and also the inspirations behind your song. And then, yes, tell us about that first, and then we can talk about your plans to release singles and an album eventually. Go ahead.
I would say, uh, so God has been putting it in me, put it now, just with, just
Mhm.
writing. And I would write, I would start a song, and then kind of phase where I'm like, I don't know what else. And I just leave it. I come back to it. I'll go and pray. I'll
Mhm.
go and pause. And I'm just like, okay, all right. So for a while, moving in my life in that way. But I would say through the pandemic, I think just having at a place where he was able to really just get me to listen, focus.
Mhm.
So through the pandemic, I've been really writing and singing to a point where certain situations or experiences in my life, the past 3 years, my health, I've had some kind of up and downs, and in those experiences to pour songs, and
Mhm.
pretty much it's just how I feel. What I'm going through, I write about. I use that for the glory of God.
Right, right. That's good. That's good because I always say when someone writes a song from a place of personal experience, that song resonates more with the audience because the audience can hear something coming from deep down. I've listened to many interviews which I love to do, and I remember one. He's a secular artist, but he has a number of hit songs, and he told the person doing the interview that he just wrote those songs when he was going through a rough time in his relationship, and those songs turn out to be some of his biggest hits. So I can just imagine you writing from that place of personal experience, putting out these songs, and people can just connect with the song because it's nothing that you are just thinking off the top of your head. This is coming from a real place. So we look forward to those songs. Any particular genre that you like, though? Because I know some people prefer reggae or worship style music. Any particular genre that you like?
Say for me, worship. I'm more.
Hmm.
I Worship is where my heart. I There's other genres, but worship for sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. So, who are some of your inspirations in the music industry? Because I'm sure you must have a few gospel artists or even secular artists that you might listen to and you like their music. Tell us about some of those.
Yeah. Well, I listen to gospel artists now. Definitely, I listen to a lot of artists too that are coming up, right? Now, one of my favorites is QA Music. Is
Hmm.
Check him out on YouTube. He's very good. He's an upcoming artist. I
Hmm.
also listen to Kevin Downswell. I listen to Jermaine Edwards. Um, pretty much, around there. Yeah. Samuel
Okay, cute.
Metis. I listen to.
Okay, okay, great, great. And Samuel Midas, I think he was in Canada recently as well. I think I saw some social media posts with him being in Canada, and I think positive as well. So you're on the ball. You're on the ball. I'll check out QA Music, and see what he's about as well. But I'm sure your music will resonate with people, and I just encourage you, just as I have encouraged several others. It's not about quantity; it's about quality. Because I've seen a lot of people who try to put out a lot of songs because you want to be known as a person putting out a new song every time. But what about the quality of the songs? How long will those songs last in the industry? And that's one of the most important things. I'm never rushing to write a song. I have songs that I've written, and I'm not even rushing to record them because I want the timing to be right. I want them to be spot on. I want people to resonate with them. If ever I write another song, I want it to be a really, really good song. So that would be my encouragement to you. Continue to listen to God, continue to follow His leading. Whatever He tells you to write, just write it. And I remember years ago when I just started recording, a producer said to me, don't even try to think about the song being a hit because you can't decide what is a hit or what's not a hit. Just write, make sure your songs are original, and just put them out. Let the audience decide, with your proper promotion. So that would be my encouragement to you as you continue to write. So as we are wrapping up, is there any final encouragement you'd like to share with our audience? You have gone through a lot. You have mentioned challenges with your health, and God has been really blessing you and healing you. So just use the final minutes just to share your final words of encouragement. And if you want to share any social media link that people can find you on, you are free to do that as well.
Yeah, I would like to just encourage, all the young people, young, old as well too, that
Mhm.
through it all, no matter what you're going through, to make a way and come for you. He'll never leave us alone. You know, I,
Mhm.
I even I know that when the past 3 years I was diagnosed at the age of 20, which is a stroke, and when I went, they found the eternal bleed clot in one of the veins, and that I was placed on. A year later, found out that I was hearing a sound in my above my left. Went to find out what it was. The doctors said that my vein in my artery had, which is a abnormal connection, which could cause an aneurysm. It could cause bleeding. See, it could cause so much issues. And I remember through it, I ended up going 3 surgeries. The fourth, there would have been a fourth one, but they said
Mhm.
to do it because it was too risky. And I remember the last surgery that I did. I remember the second surgery that I did. God, I seen an angel come to me and touch me on my right hand, and right
Yeah.
hand, I realized, and I said, oh, okay, so this is spiritual. I ended up closing my eyes, going back to sleep, and got to where if I could compare it, I can't. It was so beautiful. I can't even compare it. And it was like a garden, and I seen giants walking around. I seen running, and everybody was happy. And I heard God tell me, because this is what I was going through such a when my health, I pretty much I could have died anytime. I didn't know if I would wake up. And I remember I heard God speak to me, and I called me by my name. And this is why it's so important to young people to know that God knows you by your name. And he called me and he said, Janique, you are healed. Janique, you will no longer be sin. And he says, Janique, you are healed. So I knew I had the confidence, and I knew that it was God. Because when God, you know, nobody else has to tell you. God also
Mhm.
says his sheep know his voice, right? Well,
Yes, indeed.
God said that to me on my second surgery, and I ended up having another one,
Mhm.
and then when I had the sleep, woke up to find out surgery didn't happen because it was too risky. Said that my veins were too small to operate and going through.
Wow.
So we
Wow.
prayed, church prayed, fasted, we prayed. Went back a couple of weeks later, did a scan. Veins that they said were too small got bigger. Tell me,
Mhm.
who could that be but God?
Only
There's
God.
no,
Only God.
there's
Yes.
no other way to explain that. And
Yes.
and when it happened, they would have had to do a more invasive surgery, which is a higher chance of me want to do it, right? Because they're like,
Mhm.
your body within a full year went through angiogram, 6 of them, which is like another surgery.
Mhm.
And they were like, your body. And I remember after that happened, and I said, God, my second surgery told me that I'm healed. But I said, you know what? You spoke it, so I'm gonna believe. Say it doesn't matter if I had went through another surgery. At the end of the day, you told I'm gonna hold on to that. And I remember I
Yeah.
started to pray. My prayer life changed words every day because I'm like, this God told me this, so I'm gonna pray it. And I remember when I went back, my third surgery, the results, I knew that third surgery was faith. Went to another level where I just said, God, I'm trusting you no matter what.
Yes,
And
indeed.
yeah, we did the brain scan, and um, it looks good, but we're gonna do another angiogram to check where they can look. When they went in to have the look, even during the doctor said, you're cured. He said the left side is cured of your brain, Then they go and look at the right is cured too. And I remember I just
Mhm.
started crying because it's an operated table that I'm on, and at me and said they said what's going on? They're like everything is okay. Why are you crying? It's tears of joy,
Yes, yes.
because at that moment I reflected, and he said I'm healed. I didn't hear from nobody else. God told me you are healed. Going through everything I went through, you know, I knew that I would be healed. And God heals the confidence, young people, to know that we serve a God that anything He says will come to pass. It doesn't matter if it's on our timing. From He says it, it will happen. To put our confidence in Him, to trust in Him, and let Him lead us and take us to take us. We just have to be a willing vessel ready to be used. I would say, young people, just make sure that you keep your focus on.
All right, I think we lost your signal a little. I'll just remove you from the stream and then just re-add you, and then we can continue the broadcast. So just rejoin, and we can continue the broadcast. We are talking to Janique Simpson. She is a registered nurse in Canada. She is also a singer and a songwriter, and she is sharing her testimony how God really came through for her so many times. And the last time He came through, well, not the last time, but when He came through for her third proposed surgery, everything was okay and she was delivered. So we have her back online. Thank you for coming back online, Janique, and it's really a pleasure having you on. You were talking about that last surgery when God spoke to you and told you, "Hey, you are healed," and when the doctors checked, everything was okay, and you were giving our young people and our audience the encouragement that whatever God says He will do it. Doesn't matter the timing, and that's so important. That's so important. So you can finish up. You can finish up. All right, your microphone. Check on your microphone. So we are talking to Janique Simpson, a registered nurse, singer and songwriter, all the way from Canada. Let me see if I can hear you now. No audio from your microphone yet. Um, no signal from your microphone yet. You can try it again. No. All right. So just try to allow the microphone. Your camera is fine. So just try to allow the microphone, and I'll just take you off the stream one more time, and then you just allow microphone and just rejoin, and we will be here with you. All right. So we're talking to Janique Simpson, just having a little technical difficulties with her microphone, but awesome testimony. Getting pregnant at a young age, God brought her through that powerful testimony, how she searched for love and just didn't find it, but God has been still showing her His love. Been through several periods of sickness, and God healed her, and she's a living testimony on the show tonight. Let's see if we can hear her audio this time. All right, try it again now. Let's see if we can hear you. No, no, still not hearing, her audio. Um, all right, let's see if volume. Oh yes, the volume is okay. Not sure why I'm not hearing your audio. You were fine just before the connection went. Try it again. No. No audio, no audio. All right. Well, whoa, whoa. Well, we've been having such a good time. We've been having such a good time. It seems as if possibly the internet, the connection dropped, and then it maybe kicked you off, and no, the audio is gone. But so far, you have been doing well, and you have been encouraging our audience. I'm sure the preceding part of the interview has gone forth, and I'm sure it will accomplish much. I'm sure the viewers will share their comments on the interview, and I'm sure for those who are logging on to watch the interview will be blessed by it. We have no control sometimes over the technical issues that we have relating to the show, but God knows best, and we want to wish you the best in your musical journey, in your nursing journey. I'm sure so many days it's sad to see people that you're caring for just suddenly passing away, but God knows best. And you have to just continue to do your work as a Christian nurse to share the good news and the gospel with them. And at least if they could hear the final words to say, "Welcome into the joy of my rest," that would be really, really good. So I want to thank you so much, Janique, for joining us. So sorry we can't get to finish the last part of the interview because of the audio, but at least I'm sure audience will understand. And I'm sure when you release new songs, we will have you on the show one more time to talk about your music and your new releases. All right. So be blessed as you go. And thank you so much for your willingness to do the interview and to share your testimonies with our audience. And may God bless you and your ministry as well. All right. So take care. See you soon. All right. All the best. All the best. All the best. All right, so there we have it. Janique Simpson. She is a registered nurse, also a singer and a songwriter. She has been writing music, and she'll be releasing some songs very soon. We want to thank you for your patience and for supporting us on the Awesome Music Show. And it's just a blessing having you on. For those of you who've been commenting, I might not be able to call all the names, but you know you've been commenting, you have logged on, you've been supporting the show, you have sent your comment, you have shared the link with your family and your friends. We want to thank you for joining us on this live broadcast today. My name is DLT, the host of the Awesome Music Show. Continue to vote. You have until the 31st of July to vote unlimited for the Awesome Music Show, and we want you to continue to vote, 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 so that we can win this award. If we don't win this award, at least we got some votes in, and we can re-enter next year. And it's an encouragement to continue to do what we're doing. So we are the end of the show, the end of the month, and this will be our final show for the month of July. And then we roll into August come next week. And August starts on Monday. It's going to be a holiday in Jamaica. I keep mixing them up. I can't tell you if it's independence or emancipation. But guess what? We know August 1 and August 6 will wonderful years as an independent country. So I'm sure that will be a very, very big celebration. So thank you so much for supporting Awesome Music Show. We look forward to having you on board for August, September, October, November, right till December when we have our second anniversary show. And then we roll into 2023 with some new plans, new equipment, new everything. I'll be sharing some ways that you can support the Awesome Music Show, support the Awesome Music Ministry to make us bigger and better for 2023. Thank you so much. My name is Dale T, and it's another awesome day given to us by an awesome God to do some awesome things. So take care and be blessed as we go on this live broadcast tonight. Take care. See you soon. God bless.